Hello. Just check out what we've got for you today. Yep, that's a Chrysler Crossfire. And not just any Crossfire, it's my Crossfire. So let's get into it in a bit more detail. I used to have this car. A 1998 Lincoln Mark 8 Coupe. I quite liked it. It gave me hardly any issues in my time of ownership, and I had it for nearly 3 years. But it was time to move on, get something a little bit more exciting, because as nice and comfortable the Lincoln was, it just was not an exciting car to drive. So I thought this should be quite a bit more exciting to drive. It's a Chrysler, but not like any regular Chrysler, because underneath the skin it's a first generation Mercedes-Benz SLK 320, and this car was built in Germany by Automotive. So a German Chrysler coupe. Not just coupes, they also made convertible versions of this car. It's quite unique. You don't see them all over the place. Hence, I like it. As per normal reviews, we start with styling. I have always quite liked the Crossfire. I know it has some detractors. There's people who don't like the way this looks. Doesn't matter, they don't get it. I have always gotten it. I have always liked this retro futuristic styling. The car, belonging to an American brand built in Germany, was designed by a Brit, Andrew Dyson. I think he did a phenomenal job. This car, which came out in 2004, this particular one is a 2007 model year, but the car came out in 2004, so the design is over 20 years old, yet it still looks very good. I love the staggered wheel design. You have 18-inch 7-spoke wheels in the front and 19-inch 7-spoke wheels in the back. That spoiler, yes, right now it's in poser mode. I have it up, but typically it's flush. And at speed it rises. And who doesn't love a car with center exhaust? Ever wondered why the Crossfire is called the Crossfire? Well, it's because of this line. You know, as it goes from this to this, so it goes from a positive to a negative. A little bit harder to see on a black car, but yeah, that's the reason the name came about. Pretty cool. So what about the interior? Well, let's get out of the wind and step inside. 2 seats, of course. No back seats. Big trunk. We'll get into that in a bit. Actually, we'll get into the trunk now. There you go. Opens on gas struts, and 215 liters. Actually not bad. It's fairly deep. Can pack a lot, actually. If you're going away for the weekend, this is more than enough space. The only thing is it's a bit high off the ground, so you gotta carry something up and in there, and the opening isn't humongous, but small impracticalities. It is a sports car after all, so can't complain too much about that. Time to get back to the interior review. All right. In the Crossfire, in front of me are 3 dials. The left one shows me water temperature, fuel, ambient temperature, then the speedometer with the trip meter and odometer, ref counter, and time on the right. Nice, clear, big numbering. I like that. I'm really not a fan of the digital age we're in right now, where everything is a iPad plonked on the dashboard. Much prefer these analog dials. Got a airbag steering wheel in front of me. There's another airbag here, and it's even got side impact protection airbags. So, a safe car. Center console, well, there's no screen here either. Just a little screen for the stereo. You have heated seats for both driver and passenger. That's the button for the electronic rear spoiler. Traction off, hazard, power locks. This is if the car is getting towed. Yeah, that's the other heated seat switch. Above are climate control. So fan speed, temperature, individual for driver and passenger. Rear defrost, air con, recirculating air. But this is the funny one, because this controls the direction of airflow. Now, if you pay attention, this one sends air to the front windscreen and to your face. This one to your face. This one, face and floor. But this one also just face. So on both sides, you have settings to send air to your face, yet there's no setting to just send air to your feet. I don't know why that is the case, but that is the case with the Crossfire. Here we have a ashtray, you can say, and that's your coin holder. Cigarette lighter, wow. Well, that'll never get used. I don't smoke. Power window switches, power mirror switch, one fairly useless cup holder, then little cubby hole, some nets to put your things in, glove box. Best thing, this one is a stick shift. Some say roughly only 20% of Crossfire production had a 6-speed manual gearbox. This is one of them. One of the big reasons I bought this car. Love it, love it, love it. What's under the hood, you ask? Well, reach for the release. Lift the hood. Thankfully it's got a hydraulic strut to keep it up. And there it is. The Mercedes M112, which is a 3.2 liter naturally aspirated V6. In this application, it produces 215 horsepower and 229 pounds-feet of torque. All that power is fed to just the rear wheels. As I just told you, this one has the 6-speed manual. Majority of them had the 5-speed automatic gearbox. So what's it like to drive? Well, to find out, we have to insert this key, this flip out style old Mercedes key, which was on everything from an A-Class to the $1 million plus CLK GTRs. Yes, they had this key. Put that in, clutch in, twist. Ooh, fires up. Let's go for a drive. So typically, right after telling you about the engine and horsepower, I go into performance. I haven't done a hard launch with my own car, at least not yet. So I'm going to rely on old published numbers. And this Crossfire is quoted to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.9 seconds. It's not a rocket ship, but it's more than quick enough to be amusing. I find it quite amusing. Oh yeah, it's amusing. See what I mean? It's a torquey little motor. It just picks up very smoothly. This is one of those cars where the numbers are not as impressive as what the car feels like on the road. It feels quite entertaining. Sounds decent. It's not the most roadiest of sports cars, but makes a decent bit of noise. I just love the torque curve. Given that this is not a very heavy car, it's not lightweight, but 1388 kilograms. In today's world, that's fairly light. Anything under 1500 kilos is light. So it doesn't need a ton of horsepower for it to be quick. Twisty roads, so we'll talk about handling. The steering on the Crossfire is a recirculating ball rather than rack and pinion, which is a little lacking in feel, although I think it's better than pretty much any electronic power steering units we have nowadays. The car handles well. No doubt about it. It does like twisty roads. It's a bit stiff, as you could tell from that. But hey, it's a sports car. It's supposed to be stiff. What you want out of a sports car is responsiveness, and that it is too. Well, it is a fun car to drive on back roads. I think it really shines on the highway going out of town, because having a German chassis and suspension, they're set up for high speed. So out on the highway it just feels so well planted. That rear wing also giving you a little bit of stability. I'm sure it's not a lot, but I I'll take every little bit that I can get. You know, when the Crossfire first came out, it didn't fare all that well because of what it was up against. When this car was brand new, its competition included the Mazda RX-8, which handled better, had that sweet rotary engine, and they were cheaper. Then there was the Infiniti G35 Coupe, also roughly the same price, a lot more power for you to play with. And for a brief moment in time, Infiniti was the hottest brand in the world. So the Crossfire kind of struggled. It didn't win comparison tests. It didn't win over too many buyers. Although a total production run of about 77,000 units is not bad. They did sell this globally, and I do mean globally. Left-hand drive markets, right-hand drive markets, they sold them everywhere. So why did I buy this rather than an RX-8 or a G35? Well, a good friend of mine owns a Mazda dealership, and he knows how much I like the RX-8. I found one for sale that I thought was in very good condition. So I called him up and said, look, I found this RX-8. Tell me all the ins and outs. I want you to take a look at this vehicle. And he goes, nope, don't do it, Nauman, don't do it. They are too problematic to own. You'll make me a lot of money because you'll bring the car in for service, this and that, but they're expensive to maintain. I wouldn't do it. So he talked me out of it. The Infinitis unfortunately suffer from reliability issues. They were a lot of bang for your buck, but they weren't built to last. Lots of electronic gremlins, gearbox problems, you name it. So 20 years later, the Crossfire makes a lot of sense because the M112 Mercedes engine was mass produced. They're very reliable and parts are available, which is a big plus when you have an old car. One of the reasons I got rid of the Lincoln market is because parts were not available. So with that in mind, this makes a lot more sense now than it did 20 some years ago. And I think the styling has aged better than the Infiniti and the Mazda RX-8. So I bought the Crossfire, and I absolutely don't regret it. Let's talk fuel economy. So I've been averaging about 12 liters per 100 kilometers. Doesn't make it a gas guzzler, but it's no efficient hybrid either. So that's okay. I can live with this kind of fuel economy. Price. You can find a Crossfire in very good condition for about $15,000, and that's in Canada. And for a rare and special car, it's really affordable. Time for the final verdict. Well, if you're looking to get a sports car and you want to spend roughly half as much as it'll cost you to buy a new Subaru BRZ or a Mazda MX-5, then really the Crossfire makes a lot of sense. This is a fun car. You will not regret buying one of these. Trust me on that. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you. The Crossfire was first shown as a concept car, I believe in 2001, so when I used to be in college, and I saw that concept car at the Detroit Auto Show. It's so good to have this car. It went from concept to production. The design, yeah, it changed a bit, but not too much. Still looks like a concept car. Love it, love it, love it.